Open field PvP is the best gameplay in any Kingdom Builders, and that's in Call of Dragons, right? In my opinion, Call of Dragons has the best Kingdom Builder PvP gameplay, and of course, besides heroes and how they are synergistic with each other, we also have some interesting artifacts, and these are the artifacts which actually makes this game fun whenever you are fighting, right? There is some utility, some offensive, some defensive, some taunts, some immobilizing stuff. So this is the items which generally makes Call of Dragon PvP gameplay different from other Kingdom Builder games, right? So, like, it's been a while since we have done the tier list of artifacts in Call of Dragons, and I think it's a correct moment since I'm in a home kingdom, right? Here we have all the artifacts besides the new artifact, which is the Kuma's artifact, right? And I believe that artifact is S+. And unfortunately, I don't have the icon of that artifact, but besides that, we're gonna speak about all of the artifacts, which, in my honest opinion, in my almost like 900 days of gameplay experience, will be shared for the artifacts, right? At first, we're gonna start with tier D, right? Tier D, I always put offensive infantry artifacts, which are Spring of Silence and Dragon Rift, right? In my opinion, so far, the offensive, like fully offensive infantry artifacts are really weak. Because the whole idea of infantry is to be tanky and to take some damage. Like every couple of seconds is important because that's how infantry gameplay in general goes, right, during wars. So if you are equipped like full infantry artifacts on your infantry hero pair, unfortunately they will be pretty weak, right? So yeah, that's why they won't gonna be as tanky as they should have been, and they are going to die really, really fast. So whole idea of infantry being tank, that's the whole reason why I never raid Spring of Silence and Dragon Rift, because they both are basically offensive, right? Storm Oath Peak, which is the clone artifact for cavalry. I believe like even cavalry epic artifacts are more popular and more usable than this clone artifact. Of course, some players may have some usage. Honestly, for myself, I have not seen it. If I will see it, I will change my mind. But so far, Oath of the Stone Peak, the artifact which will give you the clone, which has like 50% strength of your legion, which was cloned. Yeah, basically, I guess to change the target of the enemy, it can be nice, but nothing really spectacular, right? Here, of course, I will rate more of a PvP artifacts rather than something else, right? I think that's enough for the D tier. Of course, at the end of the video, we will finalize the whole tier list until the end, right? Let's move on to C tier, right? In my opinion, in C tier, we have a couple of great artifacts, which is like Fang of Ashkari. As a free-to-play player, you can generally use Fang of Ashkari in every single infantry hero pair. It will be used generally a lot, and even myself right now, whenever I'm using my infantry hero pair, I'm using Fang of Ashkari here, right? Of course, we can easily move to some artifacts such as Sorlan's Blade. Some might say Fang of Ashkari is better, I agree, but Sorlan's Blade and general cavalry artifacts basically are being used in 5 marches, so even like epic artifacts are being really, really useful. Same goes for Solan's Blade, right? Because Solan's Blade has second stat march speed, and the cavalry players are basically syncing up those march speeds together, right? I would go dragon scale armor here. In season 1, dragon scale armor was one of the best infantry artifacts, but everything got changed. Shield is not rated as much as it was before, because generally nowadays infantry artifacts are doing so much that only applying shield to your infantry legion, it's basically not enough. I believe even Fang of Ashkari is better than Dragon Scale Armor, and of course, Sorlan's Blade has way more usage in terms of like PvP open field, right? So I will still put Dragon Scale Armor on C tier. I would say it's much better than Spring of Silence or Dragon Rift, right? At this point right here, we can easily go like Spring Red Feather, yet again one more artifact. That's especially for cavalry players, right? Because they need to sync up their speed of their 5 march, and these two artifacts, which has the attributes of march speed increase, is helping them actually to be more useful, right? The Grey Mars Warhammer can be put here, which is semi-offensive, semi-defensive artifact, which is basically not that great. We can easily put on a B tier or C tier, right? That's my honest opinion, and yeah, I could easily put besides Sorlan's Blade here, because I believe it's way better than Dragon Scale Armor, right? Yeah, we can easily move, and yeah, basically we can easily put Tier of Arbon in a B tier, which is like more defensive artifact for mage units, especially for like some hero pairs which likes to be healed or wants to survive around the battlefield. That's another way, right? So yeah, at first let's put Tier of Arbon on C tier, and maybe at the end of the video we will finalize in a better way the tier list, right? Let's move to the B tier. B tier, I believe we have some really nice artifacts for especially free-to-play players, because I believe we can easily put B tier on Phoenix Eye. We can easily put Shadow Blades here. With these both artifacts are basically attainable from the normal openings from like artifacts such as like normal keys. Also, we can easily put Kingslayer here, which is basically the stream artifacts, which are the best ones for free-to-play players and their accessibility. Of course, you might say the Heart of Kamasi, but Magrat and Zaida and Heart of Kamasi works if you don't have Gilded Crossbow, which I played a lot, and this artifact is especially great, right? This is for more of a normal attackers, this is for more like skill damage users, right? Also, you might have a one surprising like artifact here, in my opinion. Rattle Spear will be here, right? Rattle Spear will be here. I generally love Rattle Spear because Genera is my favorite hero in the game, but the skill usage whenever you have to stand still and you can't really move whenever you are fighting, that's a really big disadvantage. Like, only that skill is ruining sometimes my gameplay. That's the reason why I don't rate highly the Rattle Spear as a lone legendary artifact, but simply because I like my Kinara so much, of course, I put those one here, right? We can basically move forward to the A tier, and on the A tier I have like one of the best merit getter artifacts for cavalry players. These are like, of course, the Wolf Woman of Halo, the artifact with the blink, of course, and we can easily put Staff of the Prophet here because it gives us the ability to maneuver around the map. These three artifacts basically are utility, but they are so good that we have to put them on A tier, right? The amount of cool stuff you can do with these artifacts is super amazing, right? So basically that's the main reason why I'm putting these artifacts here, right? Of course, we can even put, well, let me check what we have here, right? We can easily put Deathless Wines here, because I believe Deathless Wines and the skill which is immobilizing the 5 or 3 nearby legions around is amazing, right? Everything which has stun, taunt, and it's for infantry units, I believe those are the great ones, and especially if you have some defensive stats, which you actually have on your Deathless Wine, right? Actually, what I can say that Iron Tusk can be easily gone to this side, to A tier, because Iron Tusk is basically exclusive artifact for the Falgrim, right? So basically, you can only use full effect for the Falgrim, but like that's mainly the only reason, right? The skill is still nice. The attributes are still offensive, but the additional effect which will give us only to Falgrim, because the penetrating bolt we have only on Falgrim, that's the main reason why I believe it can be gotten to A tier. But like first artifact on A tier should be there, right? We can, well, I believe we can easily move to S tier, right? S tier, I believe we can go to Gold Crest. I know additional effects gives us priority to Fragor, but I believe Gold Crest can be used on a many different hero pairs besides Syndrome and Fragor, right? Those skill, which is basically another Immobilize, saved so many moments around the battlefields and so many cool stuffs have been happened by that. Yeah, I believe Gold Crest can be easily S tier artifacts for the archers, right? We can put Shield of Stubbornness even here, same because of the skill. I know one stat is offensive, the second stat is defensive, but the rush which you are throwing around your enemies on the battlefield is really cool. It has a lot of usage, and yeah, like basically I like the artifacts which skills are more utility rather than only like pure damage dealing skills, right? Of course, we can easily move to the Mirage Orb. Mirage Orb is one of the best mage artifacts in my opinion. We can even put on S first artifact. Well, as long as your Legion is applying debuff, Mirage Orb will be there, right? Breath of the Gigantes, yet another artifact which is really nice. It's basically has a debuff on its skill, which is really good debuff, defense break, but also has offensive stats, right? Of course, it's not better than Mirage Orb, that's why I put it here. But still, I believe it's an S tier when there is like a lot of infantry players around the battlefield with 3-star warpeds. Yeah, I believe that should be really there, right? Thunder's Elegy, because it has a cool skill with some debuffs with control. Thunderlin is a great hero for this artifact, and yeah, I believe we can easily put on S tier, but I don't believe it's better than Mirage Orb, right? That's my honest opinion. And yeah, Lunaris, because of the new cavalry heroes. I would put Lunaris because of Neya and Camouflage. It's pretty dope, like synergy and generally new style of gameplay when you are hidden around the battlefield, and that's how you're actually trying to deal damage. It's it unlocks a different style of gameplay. That's why we can easily put Lunaris on S tier, but honestly, I don't believe that it's S plus tier, right? We can easily move to S plus tier already, which means like, in my opinion, the best artifacts in the game currently. So let's start. As an archer main, I would go for the Gilded Crossbow. In my opinion, the best archer artifact in the game, not only for the Margaret and Zaida in general, the march speed, the HP bypass, not even damaged. Like whenever I use the march speed increase on Gilded Crossbow skill, the amount of times this skill saved my Legion have been a lot, right? Especially against flying infantry, which is throwing with the blinks and the rushes, right? So honestly, Gilded Crossbow, in my opinion, is the best archer artifact currently in the game. Of course, S plus tier and the home of Spiritbone Torque, one of the best, if not the best, infantry artifact in the game, which will taunt 5 enemy legions. Great artifact for Goresh and Skogul, and of course, because of its amazing skill and some defensive stats, this is one of the best artifacts in the game, and yeah, so far it still continues like that, right? Visage of the Sanctus, because of the Musiang and Thea and Celestial's gameplay, one of the best, if not the best, mage hero pair in the game, and finally it unlocked Thea and Visage of the Sanctums, which is a Season 1 artifact, but because of this hero pair being so good, that's why we have to rate this artifact on such a high level, right? Of course, if we are speaking about mages, we have to mention Infernal Flame, and the only reason why this artifact is S plus tier is honestly because Lilia is still the best mage hero in the game, right? So I believe, yeah, like until Lilia will be the best mage hero in the game, Infernal Flame will be always the S plus tier, right? The Scorch gameplay, dealing damage to multiple targets, that's a great way of getting a lot of merits if you are playing as a mage, right? The next one which we can put here is Spring Blades, the best artifact for cavalry players to actually acquire merits by the skill. And yeah, we can easily put Spring Blades and another Wolf artifact. Basically, this one more for the Urag gameplay. This is Spring Blades is here because we can use Spring Blades on everything. Same with Wolf, but because of the Urag as a hero and how amazing this artifact works on Urag, basically these two cavalry artifacts are more of a highest damage dealers. Other ones are basically more for the utility and more for the march speed, right? These two basically just deal damage. Both the attributes are offensive and skill is also offensive, pure damage dealing skill, right? Of course, we will have left like Viola's bow, and I would have put Viola's bow somewhere here. I don't believe it's better than these guys here. So like this is like final. Agree, or a lot of players will agree with my tier list, but with my gameplay and how I like generally I'm a fighter. I play this game to fight. PvP gameplay is the most fun I get from Call of Dragons. This is the tier list which I completed with my honest reviews. Of course, you guys can easily share your opinions. What's your ideas? What would you guys choose in a different places? Of course, all the ideas are acceptable and we can easily discuss what's better and what's bad, right? But in my opinion, on S plus tier, on S plus and S tier, those artifacts are artifacts which a lot of players would agree that they are basically the best ones, right? From here, from A, B, C, D, they are mainly of like utility, more free-to-play friendly artifacts, but yeah. Hopefully this tier list will help new players to understand. You basically won't gonna make a mistake with the S plus and S tier artifacts. Just choose whichever your main troop type is and how well you are going to perform with them, right? So far, this is my artifacts which I have gathered with my 2 years of gameplay. I only have like Phoenix Eye and Tier of Arbon on level 5. Others are level 2 or maximum 3. And yeah, like my main advice is always the seasonal ending artifact, universal artifact compendiums, which is our Anointed and Conqueror. Those are the best artifacts. Those are the best events for players to actually acquire artifacts, because you can get 2 guaranteed legendary artifacts for 30k gems. So basically, all the good artifacts which you can see here, I have gotten from those Anointed and Conqueror compendiums, and basically almost every single opening was recorded, and they are on the channel. You can actually check them, right? So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully it was fun and you guys understood more about Call of Dragons. If you did, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.